Hi guys, and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. So today we're going to be talking about roads and giving you guys a couple of setups for roads. And of course I'm in LD Modern, so I've got a couple of extra textures for this. But I'll be showing you basically both ways of doing it. So if you're on the console versions, pocket versions, anything like that, I'll be showing you the alternative and actually the one that I've been using. I've actually not been using my special textures. I've been using the normal ones. I'll show you why. Okay, so basically what I'm going to be doing is going through my exact kind of calculations or how I've laid them out, going all the way from low density like this one to the higher density. I won't be doing the over the bridge for the trains. I'll do that in a separate tutorial when I actually get the trains completely finalized and all set out. But I will be going through all of these all the way through the kind of higher density ones to avenues to high density avenues onto a kind of streetcar avenue and all this kind of stuff basically. Really easy though. Super duper easy actually. So depending on what texture pack you have, you'll have to kind of pick your textures really. So you're going to need a sidewalk texture. I advise using something like stone slab for this one. Now if you have LD Modern, you'll have the cobblestone, which is actually a road texture. If not, you've got your grey wool and light grey wool. If you're using another texture or even default, use grey wool. That's what I advise. You're then going to have a white stripe. Now in my texture pack we do have an extra block, which is 45:5, and as you can see here we can actually get a line out of it. I actually don't advise using this, not at least for the roads. Even though I've got them here in the examples, this is me playing around with the textures. I don't advise them. The reason being, when you go up hills and go up slopes, now if we go to here, also if you're on the console versions, obviously with the road texture, depending on texture pack, you're going to have a look at how you're going to do the hills. So you can either do it at the full blocks, like this, or if you have, for example, my texture pack is pretty good because it's got the slabs on the cobblestone, so you can actually go up like this, and then see here. But when you go to this point, this is where you have a problem with these lines, so I don't advise using those lines. But yeah, let's get started. So this one is the low density street, and if we just grab the textures again, sorry. Not crazily prepared today. So yeah, we got side, grey, then going to need white. I advise using quartz because we have the quartz slabs. That's why I advise doing that. But again, like I was just saying, you can do anything else. And then you're going to need a yellow line or yellow wool in this case. So what we're going to do, and you'll notice I've got some lampposts. We're going to be actually doing those in a separate tutorial. It's easier to just go through those all in a separate thing, but I've got them to match up with these. So low density road, what you're going to do is you're going to have 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is very, very similar to Jags. It's just kind of, I've changed it to see what I've actually needed it for. You're then going to have 1 block here, which is going to be of grey, 1 of white, then 5 of your grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 yellow, and then 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 white, and 1 grey, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a sidewalk. You can just continue that on for pretty much ever. And you don't really have to worry about the markings. Just make sure that your posts are, in the right place when you actually do those. You'll kind of figure out where those actually go. But that's it. If you need wider roads, if you, for example, do find that you want wider roads, just extend these middle parts here. This part's your actual road. So you could make that, 7. You can make it 3 blocks, anything like that. But this is what I kind of advise doing, just doing the 5. That's what I found looks the best on a bigger scale. But yeah, I'm actually just going to hide my chat as well, because that's actually pretty big. I've got some commands running. So yeah, that's what I actually advise doing 5, then 1, then 5. So you've just got 5 slabs up on a little bit of a higher bit. Then you've got 1 block of grey, 1 of white, 5 going in here, 1 yellow, 5 of the grey, 1 white, 1 grey, and then 5 here. You might be wondering, why do we have this on the side? Because you don't have to. You could obviously push it back. Now, what I actually do, and again, it works very nicely in my texture pack. If we just grab a couple of little blocks here. So I've just grabbed stone stairs, water bucket, and I've got rid of my iron bars because they're kind of invisible. But what you can do here is if you've got this block, you can go 1, 2, 3, cut those out. If we just cut out this block here, and actually let's just cut out those. If we now get our stairs and we wrap one out here, then here, then here, then knock out these ones, put in grey here, grey here, grey here, and down to this point. There we go. Knock out these, put in some water, put in some iron bars, and then cover it up. we now have a really nice gutter. So there you go, you can just see from here, you've got the water showing, you've also got the iron bars showing. I think it looks pretty ace. You can also just put those around. That's why I've got that extra block right there. Still looks really good, even if you have the white line, you know, going across here. Doesn't really look that much difference actually if we just cut that out. There you go. So you can see that it still gives you enough line, which is why it doesn't really matter too much. And I'm just gonna copy this and fix that. There we go. So that's what I would do for the low density, and you can just dot those around every so often. Don't be too, you know, exact with them. Roads aren't perfect. You could, and what I've done in the past is again, this is like a lamppost thing. I figured out the distance between the lampposts, and right in the middle, I've then put in one of the drainage things. So you get a little bit more detail on the road. So I'd have like lamppost, drain, lamppost, drain, lamppost, and you can actually use that to count out your areas. So let's go on to the next one. So this is medium and high density street. So this is a 4 lanes in total. And you just got 2 going across here. So yet again, we're going to have 5 going across here. So you got 5 of your slabs, and you're going to have 1 block of grey, 1 block of white, then 5 grey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to have this white will actually be alternating. As you can see here, we've got stripes, and I'll show you how I've figured those out in a second. But then you're going to have 5, then yellow, 5, 1, 5, 1, 1, and 5. But pretty standard. All we're doing is we're just adding in an extra lane off of this one. Now you'll notice that I've got some stripes in the road, so have I figured those ones out? Well, all it is just 3 blocks. You just got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's all I figured out. I just went put on 3, leave 3. Put on 3, leave 3. Put on 3, leave 3. Put on leave 3, leave 3. And actually you can see that thing I was talking about with the drains right there. Using them to actually count out. So if I actually just switch out a couple of these, I think it's a little bit clearer with these quartz blocks. There we go. So I'll show you the actual spacing that I did between my lampposts and things. So we've got 1 lamppost right here, directly in the centre. So that's where I actually used as reference here. So I've got one directly in the centre. I've just got one that's left. This one right here, right in the centre, that's where I've put in my drain. Then I've left one, then I put one right there. So you can see that I've actually mapped it out as such on this. It helps it kind of work out a little bit. And again, I'll do the top part, as that's quite complicated for the Chicago-style trains in a later tutorial. But that's how I actually calculated mine, as you can see. And when you actually go up ramp-wise, I might actually do that. I'll do that in a later part of this tutorial. I think we'll go through the main lines first. And you can see I've used the double yellows in the middle, but you can use just the yellow line. That's what I've actually been doing. I'll show you a version of that as well in a second. After I've gone through most of these, I can show you examples of them. So the next one is a medium density avenue. There we go, medium density avenue. So what have I done this time? This has actually just got a break, so it's exactly the same as this one. It's just got a break in the middle, and I'll go through that as well. So you're going to have 5 stone slabs, 1 grey, 1 white, 5 blocks here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and again, if you want it 7 wide, do 7. If you want it 6 wide, if you want it 2 wide, whatever you want, you know, you can just fill it in here. Then we've got the lines again, exactly the same spacing going down. So you've got 1 white line, then you've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a yellow, then you're going to have 1 grey, and this is where it's different, stone slab, and you can either have a stone slab, or you can also have a stone brick stair wrapping on the outside. It, you know, feel free to mess up, or not mess up, mess around with any textures that you want. And then we're going to have 3 blocks of actual grass. Now, you can, on this one as well, with these lamps, actually put the lamps in the middle. So you can actually have them at the same point as here, and just have them going across the sides. I'll show that in the lamp tutorial. But yeah, just 3 blocks going across here in grass. You can also use, if you wanted to make it, you know, don't have it actually with the grass, just fill it up with, I don't know, grey wool, something like that will work. But then you're just going to mirror the exact same, so you're going to have a stone slab or stone stair or any type of stair, anything like that. 1 grey, yellow, 5 grey, 1 white, 5 grey, 1 white, if I can speak, 1 grey, then 5 slabs, like that. Exactly the same spacing that I used on the lights. Exactly the same. And now we get on to the next ones. This is a really dense road. This is actually a high density avenue. So this one doesn't, I don't really use this one that much, to be honest, but it's here anyway. So you're going to have 5 slabs again, and you can see that exactly the same. You can either have 5 or 7 on this. On one of mine I've actually used 7, I'll show you that, but that's for the next one that we got going along. You can have 5 going across here, or 7 slabs, it's up to you, depending on how wide you want this. You're going to have 1 grey, 1 white, again 5 for your road, 1 white, 5 for your road, 1 white, can't speak today, 5 for your road, a yellow, and then you're going to have basically 5 grey in here. And all I've done is basically where you've got the 3 white going across here, then the next one along I've just gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see here that every single time after the white line it works out correctly. So there you go, after the white line, 2, 3, 4, 5, just going diagonally. And you can just continue that pattern on, it'll match up perfectly with all of it. And then of course just mirroring on the other side. So that just gives you 3 lanes on each side, pretty heavy. You've just got a divider here. Now you can do a couple things with the dividers. This is just one example. And again, you can put in the same spacing and use the same spacing for the lights. If I actually fly over to here, you can see another example that we could do. And actually, I'll just go through this one first. But you can, just have completely grey in there. You can have, like we did with the medium density avenue, you can fill that with an avenue as well. You could just have, your stone slabs on either side and then have the grass. Absolutely fine. Okay, and we're going to go over the streetcar avenue in a different spot. You can see here that we have some monorails that me and Taff have been playing around with. There will be a tutorial for the monorail tracks. Currently, we're just playing around with 2 different ideas. You can see of this high density and making it look good. Same with that one as well. We've been playing around with a couple of ideas. That's Taff's, that's mine. We're going to amalgamate the 2. But yeah, we'll just go on to that in a second. I'll show you where I've actually got it, because there is a couple of changes that I've made to make it look really good. So, what have we got now? We've got a highway, or freeway. What's this one called? Yeah, the highway. So this is just a test I've been doing. With this one, all I've done is taken out the sidewalk, because on a highway, this is going to be, out of the way. You probably wouldn't have a sidewalk on it at all. But all I've done, just got 2 grey here, and then this is where, your lamppost is going to go. This, I've just done a grey line, light grey line, going across. You can see that I've got a banner, or not a banner, but this thing going across. So I just figured out where these are, then just went 2, then put in a cobblestone wall on this, just cobblestone wall, then 2, cobblestone wall, 2, cobblestone wall, 2, cobblestone, and just did it everyone like that. It actually figures its way out. Then I had a grey line there, and you could also put in another, or you can make this thicker, you can make this 3 if you wanted to have a hard shoulder. So if you wanted to have a hard shoulder on the road, just make this 3 or 5 wide. It's up to you, depending on how big your cars are. Then you have 1 white, 5 grey, 2, 3, 4, 5, then white, 5 grey, then a white, 5 grey, then a yellow. Then you have a grey one here, and then again light grey with that same, protector going across, exactly the same. Then all I did here is I had 5 blocks of grass and just filled it up with stuff, and you can see here that I've got the lights on the top as well. And then just copied the same on the other side. So now if we just jump over to one of the cities that I've actually been working on, the high density streetcar avenue, I can show you what it looks like on that. Okay, so here we are on a city that me and Taff are currently working on. I'm just going to clear my inventory. And what you can see here is the actual final result, the thing that we actually kind of were playing with. And you can see my gigantic head over there. Well, not my head, but a head. You can actually see what I ended up working out with this one, and you can see that I've switched over to the normal blocks as well. So we've got 7 in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got a really, really wide sidewalk. This is just in case I wanted to put a barrier on it, and if I do want to put a barrier on it, it's really easy just to put on. But then we've got 1 grey, 1 white, 5 grey, 1 white, 5 grey, 1 white, 5 grey, a yellow. And now what I did is I actually left 5 blocks in total for each of the streetcars, just in case I wanted to make them 5 wide or have an overhang. So you got grey, then I used the anvils for these. This is like I saw Jag use it for his rails, like his actual trains. So this looked really cool. You can also do things like stone stairs and things that I've seen people do, and put those in the ground and sink them down like here. if you want to. That looks pretty cool as well. You know, there's another alternative. So you get one of those, and you have a grey or light grey here, then another one of the rails, and then a light grey. Then right in the middle, I've just left 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is because I'm planning on putting the monorail stands right in the middle here. It also gives you 5 blocks to work out a really cool, I don't know, shelter of some sorts. You know, like a streetcar or tramway, little station type bus stop or whatever it's called. You know, you can figure out that. So I just used 5. What I did is I used the double stone slabs, but you can use whatever you want. And then just mirrored that on the other side. So that's pretty much it for the main roads that I use. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about, well, just curves and intersections and bits and pieces like that. How you get it to all work together as well, because that's one of the things that I think people struggle with. You know, you can build a straight road, but actually joining them together is a little bit more difficult. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about is curves. Now, this is something that makes your roads look just awesome. Now, I'll show you what I did over here, and this is a freaking massive one. And I'll show you how I did it. You can see Bob there, or Jeff. I'm not too sure. I might call him Jeff. The statue. He's going to move at some point. So if we just load up a little bit of this, and it's a little bit more difficult whenever I'm recording. It actually takes a little bit more longer to load. But there you go. You can now see that there is a circular road, and this is a huge road piece. I mean, this is seriously massive. I think it's about almost 300 blocks from there to there. You can see that Jeff's face is now disappearing because of the awe of the size of it. But yes, you can see that this looks really, really cool. And it's perfectly circular, and it works its way out. So I'm just going to go over how I actually did this, and how you could do it yourself. Now, this is really difficult, especially with the rails in here, so it doesn't look great on some points. But what you've got to think with the curves is, don't think of it as you standing down here, and it looking a little bit weird like this. You go like, oh, well, that rail doesn't look like it's solid. Think of it as the whole picture, like all the way back here, and that looks fine. So that's the easiest way to do that. But all you need to do is get up plots, and this is plots here. Figure out your circles. So, for example, now let's have a look. Now with this one, I had 2 roads parallel. So I actually had a diameter, so I had from here, for example, if we're doing the white line there, right to that white line there. So I'd figure out that, go, okay, that's 23 blocks, for example. So from there to the white line there is 23 blocks. And then just add this free part here, just do it directly from that middle. Go 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, and figure out that line, draw that line in. And that's all I did, just on a big scale. Drew that line in, and plonked it down. I then looked at this one, so we might look at this white line right here. So we went that line to that line is X amount of blocks, might be, I don't know, 27. Let's say it was 27 blocks. I'd then look at that, set this out, and you can do the 2D view. I'll put this link in the description as well for plots. It's an amazing piece of kit. Then I just figured that out, joined that up, and it came around to that point. Okay, so that's how you figure out the circles, and just keep on going out wider and wider, depending on where you are. That'll actually work with every single road you got. Seriously, just go from your straight lines, figure out where you want to curve to, and say if it was over here, you had a road going across this way. Just figure out the actual radius of it, and then you can figure out the diameter of it, because you know you just double radius. Now with Minecraft, actually I might as well explain this as well. So say if we're going to do a radius, obviously this isn't a full circle, we're not going completely around, we're just doing half of one. You can see that this point here is like the middle in a way, or it's the middle of one of the points. So if we had, for example, a road going this way, and it was intersecting with one that was also going, let's go 1, 2, 3, and then we had one going this way. So, you know, we had them intersecting. We wanted to figure out where the best place to actually round it. So these were actually not going this way, we just had a square, basically. And we wanted to figure it out. So we would then just choose a middle point, probably here, this one, and we'd just kind of amend it accordingly to make a rounded part. If that makes sense? I'm not too sure if that made any sense, but anyway, that's how we do it anyway. Just count, depending on where you want your actual sections to go. This is a massive road, and you can kind of see exactly the end product. I think it looks pretty awesome. But yeah, let's go and find out some more of the sections. Okay, so one we have here is an intersection between an underpass going underneath this long road here, the big high-density streetcar avenue. And this is just doing a high density street, or medium high density street. You know, you've got 4 lanes in total. So what I've done is I've used here, and I know I forgot earlier on in the episode to actually go, or not episode, but tutorial to go through this. But you basically have your slabs. If you're in my texture pack, you can use slabs. I've just gone down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think. I've gone down with 6 slabs for this curve, so I want it to be smooth, but feel free to do whatever you want, really. Again, use just the free gap counting. If you don't have those kind of slabs, just do 4 blocks and double the length. The slabs will just be intermediates, kind of in the between parts. So this one would just go all the way to this level here, and then it would go to the full block. So just do it that way. You know, do what you can. So this one we actually have going underneath. So we've got an underneath bridge, as you can see here. Just works its way down, and then we've just got these passes on the side. These aren't amazing, but they're not too bad. So you can see here that it just, every time it goes up by a slab, it also moves 3 across, well, 1 block across to this side, and slowly makes its way until it comes to the edge, where if you were a car right here, you would then look that way, and because I'm in the UK, we drive on the left, that's why I'm looking this way. If you're American, it's going to be very weird, but I'll do it the American way as well. You then look this way, and then you drive off. So you wouldn't actually be going down this ramp, it's just an exit to get onto here. Now, if you're an American, you'd be going up this way, drive up to this point, look that way. I mean, you don't have to be American, obviously, but then drive off this way. If you're actually on the freeway and you're from the UK, drive here, drive down this way, then look and go probably this way. You know, so that's all I've done there. And I've just got this grassy part here. Feel free to mess around with those. Just choose a point where you're going to be going down and see if it works, and then just curving off the edges as well. I've just used stone brick to go across these. Really easy intersection for this, though. Quite interesting. If people want me to go into detail with this kind of stuff, then I can. I can do separate tutorials just for intersections, I guess, to make them clearer. Okay, so here's just a normal intersection that I've put in. So this is between 4 intersecting low-density roads. And what I've done is I've got my sidewalk, and I've cut off 3 blocks in total. So normally it'd be just square. I just built these square. I then just cut these back to make it a little bit more rounded. I think that looks a lot better. Now what I've done is I have put in here a crosswalk. So you've just got a zebra crossing, crosswalk, or whatever you want to call it. You know, there's loads of names for it. But all I've done is from this line, just lined up with the actual blocks that you've got here. So you can see that you've got the slab there. Just line that up. Left a block, put one. Left a block, put one. And that will figure its way out until it hits into this part. Then just add 1 here. And then you just get the line going across again, going down there. So it basically just, you know, normally would be going to this point. It's just rounding off that edge. So you've got 2 rounded edges. Now, in my texture pack, if you do have Optifine, obviously it still has to be on 1.7. If you got 4:4 is this block texture. If you're on the Xbox versions, what I'd recommend doing is either leaving this blank, which looks fine, or get your yellow wool, create a cross pattern. So I'm doing it above, of course, like this. You just have a cross pattern between this and those, like grey. So you can actually do it that way. Just do it on a bigger scale, basically, if you haven't got these blocks. So just create a cross and just alternate. You know, so you just have 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and then this will be there, there. Then you just do the opposite, going this way, just to create some sort of striping. And like that, you know, and just continue that going all the way across. Pretty easy. It just changes things up a little bit. Then the next thing I've done is I've put in a line. So this is a stop line. So if you actually have the lights, and you can see I haven't got the lights set out yet. When I get that all sorted and all perfected, I'll do a tutorial on that just to make it clear. It's just after I've played around with a couple ideas. What I've done is, behind this line, I've just left 1 grey. Just gone straight across with a white line, and that will just connect into the yellow. I didn't keep the yellow going like this. It didn't look quite right when I did that. So I actually brought the white line directly over the top, and it seems to finish it off a little bit better. So I've just got that on, depending on, obviously, which side of the road you actually stay on. Driving on the left, you'll have this on the left. If you drive on the right, you actually have the line going across the right. And then that will just correspond to each of these roads, making a pattern. That's pretty good. So that's if you have all of the low densities going together. Down this way, I actually have an example of the other one. I'm actually going to move up slightly so that we've got it just on the flat, so it's a lot easier to show you guys. Exactly the same, and you can see me and Zarius are messing around with a couple of things here. Got a gas station on the works. Exactly the same thing though. Now, I've just rounded off the corners exactly the same way, put in the zebra crossing exactly the same way, except for, obviously, on the longer one, on this medium high density road or street, it's obviously just longer, just goes across longer, but exactly the same. And it's just standardizing your city, and then no matter what you do, you kind of know how, whenever any different type of actual roads will meet, you know how to deal with it, and that'll make it a lot easier when setting out your roads. So yet again, just on here, just got that line going across. With this one again, driving on the left, got a double this time. So just bring that line all the way across, and that's it. that's it, pretty much. So let's go and find the bigger one. Okay, so here I have a really big one. So this is a really big one. This is the medium high density street mixing with a medium density avenue, as you can see here. And I decided to use the stone brick on this. And I actually think that this works better than the stone slabs just going around it. It also adds a different bit of colour. Now, I'll just talk about what I've done here. Exactly the same setup as you did before. Of course, there's a little bit of changes with the medium density thing here, and I'll go over that. But again, cornering off those, just cutting those corners, putting in your simple sidewalks, or not sidewalks, but zebra crossing type walks. Again, the line's going across, pretty good. And you've also got the box going across here. So all I did for this is I lined up with this section here, just cut back this grey part here so you've got a clear walk, gave an extra block, and then just rounded this off. So I just continued these around here and just crossed them off, just like that. Now, connected onto this part, going straight across here, I then went 1, and then 3 going across, then 1. And that just rounds off that edge piece, and you can see that I've put in here, and all these are just cobblestone wall. It's just a different textured one that I've got in my texture pack specifically. But if not, if you've just got the normal cobblestone wall, just use those. I've just got one on the side, and then one here, one here, one here, and one here. And the rest is just, again, that grid pattern. Same on the other side as well. What this means is when you're actually walking across, if you actually do get a chance to walk across, if a car does crash into you, or that fire truck, one of Zarius's fire trucks crashes into this, the pedestrians are safe, you know. They're not going to have to go, oh, hell, run, you know, basically into traffic. The car will actually hit into this, and so the pedestrians. So that's how I've done that crossway. Makes kind of a bit more sense. Really big, though. Really big section. So now if I just fly down this way, I believe. Okay, so here you'll see a very, very non-standard one. What do I mean by non-standard? Well, just look at it. So we've got 3 different roads connecting into each other. One that's on a perfect 45-degree angle, and you can see the 45-degree cars have been working on, and a tutorial's about up for those pretty soon. We've got that. So we've got one coming out at a right angle, this one comes at a right angle, and then we got a 45. So what I've done here to make it look a little bit crazier, because no matter what, it won't look quite right. Got the 45-degree road, and I'll just go over this one as well, because it's a road tutorial. We've got grey, just on the diagonal, then we've got white. Then if we just go diagonal from the white, we just got grey, 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 yellow, grey, 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 white. And then you've got your 1, 2, 3. Just in total, I ended up going with just 3 of them. That seemed to look correct. That's what we're trying to get the look for. So we're trying to make this section here look the same on a diagonal. And I think that's kind of probably the best to actually do it. Again, just put the diagonal lines in here. As you can see. Just going to cross, and also the stop line as well on the diagonal. And then what I did to make this look a little bit more natural, and because of the intersection and rounding of these corners, it meant this one actually slid down. And all I've done is I've just got 3 blocks there. It goes across by 1 and then just drops by 1 and just works its way back. Same with this here, just going back by 2. It's just to try and make it look as natural as possible. It's a bit weird, but you do sometimes get these, and if you're building a city, it makes it a lot more interesting. So yeah, another thing you can do is angle your roads just slightly. So what I've got up here, and you can see I'm still working on this intersection, so I'll show that off at some point when I figure it out. But what we've got here is just a normal medium density avenue, and I've decided to turn it just slightly, just off angle, just to basically to match this cliff that we've got here, or not cliff, but this edge on the island, just where we've got the beach. So I've actually just moved this just by 3 blocks, and you can see here that I just go every 3 blocks, and because I've got these lines going 1, 2, 3, then a gap, then 1, 2, 3, it makes it really easy to figure out just where the lines are going to go, And then you can see here, I'm trying to figure out this, but that's a bit complicated. Or at least it is at the minute. I've been doing too many roads. And finally when this loads up, there we go. So you can just see that this continues on. And then we have a curved intersection here. And this is what I wanted to show you guys. So here I've got another different intersection. So you've got this coming down here at an angle. And then we've got a straight road here. And we've got a straight road right there. That's the actual avenue. So this is going to be continuing on. These are kind of extras. Sorry about that, guys. I just had a weird small crash. Anyway, so what I'm going to be connecting in here as well is a 45-degree road. So this is going to be a really complicated intersection. I'm going to also have a 45-degree road coming off of here, and you can see I was playing around with the line to see where it matches up from that side anyway, to see if it was going to be... I was hoping it would work out, but it didn't. Anyway, so we're also going to have one here, so you have a really, really complicated intersection. See here that I've just set out the same as I did before going across the crosswalk, because I know that one. The same will be here as well when I get around to it, and then we're going to have some sort of complicated way here where the traffic lights would actually go naturally to allow all traffic. But the main thing to think about is to round off the shapes, and you can see here that I've done some kind of gentle rounding and just keeping this here and just playing around. And all I've basically been doing here is just playing around with the actual sizes of different circles, same on plots, and just seeing what works. And it is trial and error, but just obviously do it with a one block ring. Don't bring this all the way down, and if you actually look behind here, it's empty. So yeah, you just do the top layer, have a look at it from the top, and then see what happens. Hopefully that's given you guys a couple of ideas for the roads, how they play together. There will be bridge type tutorials as well, how you do like overpasses and things. And if you want specific intersections, then I'm more than happy to do it. Obviously it's very difficult for you guys to have the exact same layout as, for example, this one. So this is a very specific one, but I can still give advice when I've got it all done if you want me to do that. What I do have at the minute, and if we just jump over here, so this is what I've done with the actual grids, as you can see. This is what we've got at the top. You can actually have a look if you want to on the die map. I'll put the link in the description. So this is the city that me and Zarius are actually working on. I got the 45 down here, connecting to this point, and connecting to this point. So it was quite lucky I had to actually push this one here, as you can see. So it didn't connect perfectly at 45, whereas it did here. So I've had to kind of do best efforts on that one as well, and it actually allowed me to do these sidewalk type pieces a lot easier. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the roads. If you guys have got any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments section, and yeah, I'll try and come up with some good examples. You can see the things that look really good are things like this gigantic section here. There will be, you know, tutorials for lots of different other bits to do with cities and things like bus stops, how you'd put those in, how you do a subway station, how to choose where, all of that kind of stuff is going to be coming, guys. But thanks for watching. Give me any suggestions you have in the comment section, and I'll see you guys on the next one.